You're not exhausted because your life isn't full. You're exhausted because your life is cluttered, and clutter is the enemy of clarity. Yes to your kids getting a version of you that is not running on fumes. Yes to your goals finally getting uninterrupted focus. Yes to mental peace. Yes to spiritual clarity. Yes to the next version of you finally emerging. What if I told you that reclaiming your life starts with one single word? Because you've already been stretched thin saying yes to everyone's demand while your dreams collect dust somewhere in the corner. You're constantly available, but you're rarely at peace, and nobody told you the real secret. Saying no is not a rejection, it's protection, it's alignment, it's leadership. In this episode, I'm going to show you how something this simple can change everything. Because this right here, this is so easy. Everyone should be doing it. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why no is the most powerful word in a man's vocabulary. Why your yes is losing its value. You never say no. Also, how to say no without feeling guilt or shame. How this one shift will give you back your peace, your focus, your time, your life. You're not here to live by default. You're here to live by decision. And that starts with boundaries. It starts with clarity. It starts with one word: no. You ever sit back and ask yourself, why am I so tired? Why does my mind always feel cluttered? Why do I feel like I'm busy, but I'm not fulfilled? Let me tell you why. It's because you've been saying yes to things that don't deserve your energy. Yes to people who wouldn't do the same for you. Yes to favors, requests, plans, projects, conversations, distractions. Not because they matter, but because you're afraid of what might happen if you say no. You're not exhausted because your life isn't full. You're exhausted because your life is cluttered, and clutter is the enemy of clarity. Every yes you give without discernment takes time away from your family, your purpose, your peace. So let me say this to you loud, especially for the men in the back who needs permission. You are allowed to say no. And when you do it in a way that you're not losing opportunities. You're taking back your life. Let's break this down. Saying no is not a negative. It's directional. It's how you take back control of your time, your focus, your peace, your legacy, your identity. Every time you say no to what doesn't align with what you have going on, you're saying yes to what actually matters. Yes to your kids getting a version of you that is not running on fumes. Yes to your goals finally getting uninterrupted focus. Yes to mental peace. Yes to spiritual clarity. Yes to the next version of you finally emerging. Men, listen to me. If your schedule doesn't match your purpose, if your calendar is filled with commitments that don't grow you, if your yes is costing you more than you can afford, then your next move isn't to push harder. It is to start subtracting. Boundaries don't push people away. They show people how close they are allowed to come. And if you don't draw that line, somebody else will. They'll call you at all hours. They'll add you to their projects. They'll assume you're available. And little by little, you'll stop recognizing your own life. Let me tell you what boundaries sound like. I can't commit to that right now. That doesn't align with what I'm working on. I'm not available, but I appreciate the thought. Thanks, but no. That's it. You don't owe anybody any guilt. You don't owe them a full explanation. You don't need to match their energy. You just need to guard yours. Let me paint a picture for you. The moment you start saying no, on purpose, you'll have more energy. You'll think clearer. You'll sleep better. You'll work smarter. You'll parent with more patience. You'll show up in your relationship with more presence because you're not stretched anymore. You're aligned. You'll notice the conversations that used to drain you start disappearing. The people who only wanted your yes will fall off, and the people who respect your boundaries, they'll lean in closer. They'll respect you more because people might not like a boundary at first, but they'll respect a man who knows where he stands. You might be thinking, all right, I get it. I need to start saying no, but where do I even begin? Here's your action plan. Number 1, audit your yes. Make a list of everything you've committed to, what energizes you, what drains you, and reclaim your calendar. That's number 2, reclaim your calendar. What can you remove? What can you decline? What can you delegate, right? Number 3, practice your no. Say it loud. Get used to calm confidence of protecting your time, right? Number 4, define your non-negotiables. What gets your full yes without question? Those things should be few. It should be family, health, purpose, peace. Protect them at all costs. Let me remind you of this. Your yes means nothing if you never use the word no. You were not born to be constantly available. You were not built to say yes to everybody's expectations. You were created with a purpose, with an assignment, with a legacy to build. And that means you've got to be selective about what gets your attention. So if nobody else told you today, let me be the one to say it. You don't owe anybody your life, but you do owe your life attention. It's time to take it back. And it starts with the word no. I was actually listening to something the other day, and it was the rapper Ice-T, movie star Ice-T. I'm pretty sure he does a lot of other things besides what we know him for. But he was having an interview with somebody, and I think it may have been an old interview, but he explained the very thing I'm talking about right now. Take a look at this clip.
Stress is caused by giving a fuck.
Right.
Another ice cold fact.
Hey, man, do you know how to tell people no? Is that something that you had to work on, or have your tolerance, or?
Absolutely not to say no now. I didn't, but I had to learn. I learned the hard way, big boy. When I first became semi-successful and I had records out, for a minute I could not hold my food down. And I would eat and I would throw it up. And people thought I had ulcer and stuff, so I went to a gastrologist. He looked at my stomach. He said, "You're perfect, man." So he sent me down the hall to a sports psychiatrist. This is a guy that helps guys hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs while they're going through a $100 million divorce. You got to get your head right for this. You can't bring that divorce to the game. You have to compartmentalize it. So this guy helps people like that. So he sits there and he says, "Ice, tell me your problems." So I talked for 20 minutes and he goes, "I got a prescription for you." He wrote it on a piece of paper and pushed it at me. And it said, "No." He said, "You just talked for 20 minutes. You didn't tell me any of your problems. You told me all your friends' problems."
Wow.
Right now, life is great for you. This is the moment you've been waiting for. You're extremely happy. But there's a guilt that goes along with success. Because you're successful and everybody isn't, you feel you got to take care of them, and you can't. You're going to hurt yourself. You're actually physically making yourself sick. He says, you got to say no. He said, make a yes a very difficult yes. And this is what he taught me. When you say yes, you turn someone else's problems into yours.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true.
Give you an example. Say your name again, big homie.
That's Jose.
Jose says to me, "Ice, can you take me to the airport?" I say, "Yeah, man, I got you. I got to get up. I got to get gas in my car. I got to be on time. I got to pick Jose up. I got to get him to the airport. And guess what? If I'm late, he gets to be mad at me."
Right.
I just turned his problem
into yours.
So sometimes you just got to say, "Nah, man, I'm not the one. I can't do that right now."